Today's story is Filling the Queue by Rhonnie14. The Whisperwood apartments in Columbus, Georgia were nice and affordable. A middle-class paradise tucked away behind a long driveway and tall trees, far from the maddening crowds and traffic. Only nowadays, the pretty scenery, the nature trails, the swimming pool and pristine gym, all of them were close to useless. Sure, there was still the apartment's lakeside view, but everything else remained off limits due to the quarantine, unless you wanted to risk contracting COVID-19. Gwyneth Carpenter sure didn't. She stayed on lockdown in apartment 17, a self-imposed imprisonment. Not that she was doing too bad. There were no prison bars in this penitentiary. Even in a bland apartment with 2 bedrooms and 1 bath, Gwyneth still had junk food and booze. Not to mention a shitload of Netflix. The show and movies were what kept her mind at ease. Gwyneth's security blanket from all the strange sounds she heard at night. The low cries or footsteps. Maybe the apartment was haunted. Gwyneth was too scared to check. Instead, she drowned her fear in booze and sweets, in the escapism binge-watching what everyone else was doing during these solitary months. Staying at her station, Gwyneth sat in bed, surrounded by cult movie posters, college graduation photos that were by far the highlight of her young life. A pizza box and a bottle of wine sat on the nightstand, a purple bathrobe draped over Gwyneth's slender frame, an iPhone glued to her hand. Gwyneth was a groomed, pretty prisoner. Just bored. Like a frat guy, she burped and slouched back on the lush pillow, downed that glass of wine in seconds. Black straight bangs hung over her eyes, but couldn't block her bored gaze. Ugh, is this it? She said to herself. A flat screen showed so many shows and movies, all of which she'd seen multiple times. Tiger King, the Scream films, every mediocre Netflix original horror movie possible. No new content was coming to her rescue. I've already seen all these, Gwyneth's drunken rant continued. Amidst the silence, she placed her glass on the nightstand. Gwyneth stole a look out the window. Out into the dark night. Shit, she muttered. She checked her phone. 3 a.m. No different than 3 p.m. in the survivalist schedule. Stuck on her suggested screen, Gwyneth tilted her head back, caught in that groggy state between intoxication and slumber. Why can't they add anything new? Then came the noises. The return of the scares. The return of Gwyneth's fear. A soft footstep stopped right outside her bedroom door. Alarmed, Gwyneth sat up in bed. She was wide awake now. Eerie whispering drifted in, scrambled muttering fit for a madman. Nothing intelligible, just terrifying. Gwyneth sat there, paralyzed in fear. The whispering continued at a rapid pace, the voice at the same unnerving volume, still right outside her door. "Hello?" Gwyneth shouted. Gwyneth got no response. Nothing but the same low voice, the manic machine that barely sounded human. Gwyneth staggered out of bed. "Who's there?" Footsteps rushed away, the steps so loud, so heavy. Gwyneth tore open the door, but saw nothing in her living room. She leaned out, heard the sounds disappear into the hallway, into the bathroom. Curiosity getting the best of her, Gwyneth chased after the noise. One flick of the switch illuminated her empty living room. One look out the window showed the foreboding night, the lonely lake, the Whisperwood, a ghost town. Gwyneth's grip tightened on the iPhone as she made her way to the bathroom, its door wide open. "Hello?" Struggling to stay strong, she stopped in the doorway, the noises now gone. "I've already called the police," she lied. Gwyneth then entered and flicked on the lights. Her iPhone a knife ready to get thrown, but again, she stood alone. Under the humming bulbs, Gwyneth pushed her dark hair back, felt sweat stick to the bathrobe. What the fuck? The lights cut out. Screaming, Gwyneth hauled ass out of there. She stumbled straight into the guest room, turned on the lights and looked around. Her mind dominated by dread, panic. "Who's in here?" she cried, but she saw no one. There was the uncomfortable bed, the desktop computer, but no intruder, not even a ghost. The closet door creaked open. Gwyneth hesitated in the tense silence, then went straight toward it. She stopped and looked on, but there were only boxes and old scattered clothing. Confused, Gwyneth looked up. A boom mic was hanging up above her. The mic heavy and modern, and recording her. "What the hell?" Gwyneth cried. She reached toward the mic, her every sound captured, just like her every move was captured by the cameraman standing in the bedroom doorway, or by the hidden cameras placed throughout apartment 17. Gwyneth grabbed the boom mic. "What is this?" There was a swift movement behind her. Gwyneth whirled around. A figure in a skeleton costume stood by the bed, their loose black robe contrasted by the holographic white bones, by their smiling skull mask of a face. Terrified, Gwyneth looked toward the cameraman. Like a mask, the huge camcorder disguised Norman's face. He gave his leading lady a sarcastic wave. "Just act scared, Gwyneth," he shouted. A flash of silver caught Gwyneth's trembling eyes. She saw the skeleton raise a long machete. Gwyneth didn't have a chance. She had nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, not even in her own Tam apartment. As Gwyneth screamed, the blade swiped across her neck. Red streams exploded, crimson coated the white masks, fresh red paint decorated the room, all in vivid technicolor. Overflowing blood drowned out Gwyneth's cries. She clutched her slit throat, helpless. Turning, she faced the camera's unflinching, merciless eye, her death completely captured on film. "Keep going," Norman yelled. Gwyneth fell to one knee. Lunging forward, the masked killer pushed her to the ground. A red river now built beneath Gwyneth. The guest room, her grave. The last thing she saw, the silent skeleton standing up over her, watching her last breaths. "And cut," Norman announced. He lowered the camera, revealing a wild smile, his eyes beaming behind those big glasses. "Fantastic, Rebecca." Filled by joy, the skeleton ripped off the skull mask. Rebecca could now relax in her own skin. In the chubby frame and blue-cropped hair she had hidden all along, Rebecca let out a sigh of relief. "Whew, that got hot." She gave Gwyneth's corpse a soft kick, a brief celebration to the slang. Game, set, murder, all going to Rebecca. Norman stopped next to her. "I bet." He held up the camera. "But this is the best footage we've gotten yet." He grabbed Rebecca's broad shoulder. "You did great, Rebecca. This is gonna scare the piss out of them." Chuckling, Rebecca tossed her mask and machete on the bed, letting Gwyneth's blood drench the sheets. "Let's hope so." A woman in a business suit rushed inside. Her long hair was parted down the middle in a professional manner, a cell phone glued in her hand. The lady, an obvious producer. "Hey, did you call Netflix?" Norman asked her. The producer held up her phone. "Calling them now." Norman wrapped an arm around Rebecca, reassuring her, his passion contagious. "This is the best movie we have ever done." Not slowing down, the female producer paced around the room. "Yep, we just got it done," she said into her phone. "Yeah, it's the new one for the content crisis." Now Rebecca locked eyes with Norman, matched his excited grin. The producer pressed the phone closer to her ear. "We've got this. We've got more movies that'll cover the Corona programming shortage. I promise." Hey there, friends. I hope you enjoyed that story, and I hope you're not bored of the queue that I've created of content for you, because I may have to send some people your way, namely Rebecca and Norman. They seem to get the job done. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed that story. That was a fantastic story by Rhonnie14. Rhonnie14 has their own subreddit, which I will link below, because they are a great author, and genuinely love their stuff. I think you guys will also get a nice kick out of their writing as well. So, thank you, Rhonnie, for letting me read the story. Much appreciated. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel and appreciates all my content. Again, don't make me get Rebecca and Norman. I don't want to, but I will. If you enjoyed this video and would like more content like this, please consider joining the Nevermore. To join the Nevermore, all you have to do is click that subscribe button and the little L next to it, and then the all option if that pops up. Once you have done so, you are officially part of the Nevermore. Being part of the Nevermore gives you access to my Patreon, Twitter, subreddit, Facebook, and Coffee, and a page where you can submit a story to me if you have one that you would like me to read. You do technically have access to all of these things without being part of the Nevermore, but it is way more fun to join the Nevermore and be part of something bigger than yourself and help a small channel like mine grow to the size of 1 billion. I'm going to shoot for 1 billion subs by the end of this video and 1 billion likes on this video. Let's make it happen, alright? Alright guys, I hope you all have a fantastic day and a great week. I will see you on the next video, but until then, sleep well.